Vivashadi Gaurata Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vivashadi Vivashadbhakta Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna devotees, we welcome all of you for the today's morning program Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Murali Prabhu, and Prabhu will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 25th chapter, verses 41 and 42. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to each and everyone. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to understand and read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, understanding it and apply it in our day-to-day life. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 25th chapter, 41 to 42, the verse numbers. The subject matter on the description of the characteristics of King Puranjana. So, before we are going into today's verse, let us brush up what really happened so far. See, this is a discussion between sage Maitreya and to Vidura. And it was Maitreya is starting like that. My dear Vidura, Lords, in this way, Lord Shiva instructed the sons of Parshinabari, the sons of the king, also worship Lord Shiva with great devotion and respect. Finally, Lord Shiva became invisible to the princess. All the princes simply stood in the water for 10,000 years and recite the prayers given by them by the Lord Shiva. While the princes were undergoing severe austerities in the water, their father was performing different type of fruitive activities. At this time, the great sage Narada, master teacher of all spiritual life, became very compassionate towards the king and decided to instruct him about spiritual life. To the king, Narada narrated an old history connected with the characteristic of a king called Puranjana. King Puranjana had unlimited desires for sense gratification. Consequently, he traveled all over the world to find a place where all his desires could be fulfilled. Unfortunately, he found a feeling of insufficiency everywhere. While wandering here and there in that wonderful garden, King Puranjana suddenly come in contact with a very beautiful woman who was walking there without any engagement. She had 10 servants with her, and each servant had hundreds of wives accompanying him. The woman was protected on all sides by 5 hooded snakes. She was very beautiful and young, and she appeared very anxious to find a suitable husband. Narada Muni says, "My dear king, when Puranjana becomes so attracted and impatient to touch the girl to enjoy her, the girl also became attracted by her words and accepted his request by smiling. By this time, she is certainly attracted by the king." The woman continued, "In this material world, a householder life brings all kind of happiness in religion, economic development, sense gratification, and begetting of children, sons and grandsons. After that, one may desire liberation as well as material reputation. The householder can appreciate the result of sacrifice, which enable him to gain promotion to the superior planetary systems. All this material happiness is practically unknown to the transcendentalist. They cannot even imagine that such happiness." The woman says, "According to the authorities, the householder life is pleasing not only to oneself, but also for forefathers, demigods, great sages, saintly persons, and everyone else. That a householder life is thus beneficial." So this is so far what it has happened. And today's verse, the verse number 425-41. Kanama virya vahayatam vadanyam priya darshanam navrinita priyam praptam madarshi tavadrisham patim. Kanama virya vahayatam yadanyam priya darshanam navrinita priyam praptam madarshi Tirashampatim. Ka, who? Nama, indeed. Veera, my dear hero. Vikyatam, famous. Vadanyam, magnanimous. Priyadarshanam, beautiful. Na, not. Prinita, would accept. Priyam, easily. Praptam, gotten. Madarshi, like me. Tvadarsham, like you. Patim, husband. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Oh, my dear hero, who is in this world will not accept a husband like you? You are so famous, so magnanimous, so beautiful, and so easily gotten. Purport: every husband is certainly a great hero to his wife. In other words, if a woman loves a man, that man appears very beautiful and magnanimous. Unless one becomes beautiful in the eyes of another, one cannot dedicate his whole life to another. The husband is considered very magnanimous because he gives as many children as to the wife as she likes. Every woman is fond of children. Therefore, any husband who can please his wife by sex and give her children is considered very magnanimous. Not only does the husband become magnanimous, by begetting children, but by giving his wife ornaments, nice food, dress. He keeps her completely under submission. Such a satisfied wife will never give up the company of her husband. Manu Samhita recommends that to keep a wife satisfied, a husband should give her some ornaments, because women are generally fond of home, ornaments, dresses, children, etc. In this way, the woman in the center of all material enjoyment. In this regard, the word Vikyatham is very significant. A man is always famous for his aggression towards a beautiful woman, and such a aggression is sometimes considered rape. Although rape is not legally allowed, it is a fact that a woman likes a man who is very expert in that rape. So, this is the purport of the first verse. We will also brush up the second verse, verse number 4, 25 and 42. Kashyamanastu bhuvi bhogi bhogayo triyana sajjat bhojayor mahabhuja ya anata vargadadim malam grahanoddata smitavalokena charati apohitum. Kashyamanastu bhuvi bhogi bhogayo triyana sajjat bhojayor mahabhuja ya anata vargadadim malam grahanoddata smitavalokena charati apohitum. Kashya, whose mana mind, te your, bhuvi in this world, bogi, bogayo, like a body of a serpent, striya of a woman, na, not, sajjit, become attracted, bhujayo, by the arms, mahabhuja, O mighty armed, ya, one who, anatha varga, a poor woman like me, adim, distress of mind, alam, able, grana udatha, by aggressive mercy, smita avalokena, by attractive smiling, charati, travels, apohitum, to dissipate. Translation purport by Divine Grace. O mighty armed, who in this world will not be attracted by your arms, which are just like the bodies of a serpent? Actually, you relieve the distress of husbandless women like us by your attractive smile and your aggressive mercy. We thank that you are traveling on the surface of earth just to benefit us only. Purport: when a husbandless woman is attacked by an aggressive man, she takes his action to be mercy. A woman is generally very much attracted by a man's long arms. A serpent body is round, and it becomes narrower and thinner at the end. The beautiful arms of a man appears to a woman just like the serpent's, and she very much desires to be embraced by such arms. The word anatha varga is very significant. In this verse, nata means husband and a means without. A young one who has no husband is called anatha, meaning one who is not protected. As soon as a woman attains the age of puberty, she immediately becomes very much agitated by the sexual desire. It is therefore the duty of the father to get his daughter married before she attains puberty. Otherwise, she will be very much mortified by not having a husband. Anyone who satisfies a desire for sex at that age becomes very great object of satisfaction. It is a philosophical, psychological fact that when a woman at the age of puberty meets a man and the man satisfies her sexually, she will love that man for the rest of her life, regardless of who he is. Thus, so-called love within this material world is nothing but sexual satisfaction. Om Tasat. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Takshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sabidam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamakyam Satvita Padantiham Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Utapatakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sakarajadam Sagana Raghunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Sri Visakhavitam Cha Te Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gobesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhupya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, if you see in these two verses, Prabhupada explained about lot of things about our practical life. He says every husband is certainly a great hero to his wife, because husband is also giving lot of support to his wife, and that is the reason when a husband totally, when she is involved in supporting the wife, then the wife started loving the husband. That is the thing. Today's so many divorces happening in the family, it is because not having this type of understanding, how one will have to support the other. It is very, very important. That's what Srila Prabhupada, why is giving so much importance to, even though it is a materialistic way of life. But even he was referring, the Manu Samhita recommends to keep the wife satisfied. Yeah, husband should give her some ornaments, so many things, children, dresses, and so many things. These are also small things in this material world. Material world is created only for all these things. Okay. So, but beyond this, there is a spiritual life, all that it is for a matured, and the people who are very serious about it, they will have to come. On all other cases, this life is, it is like that to be lived. That's why, yeah, here Prabhupada also mentions Natha and Anatha. One woman who is not protected is called Anatha Varga. So, and also Srila Prabhupada insists on, as soon as a woman attains the age of puberty, she immediately becomes agitated by sexual desire. So we will have to find a husband and get her married. This is very, very important. Most of these things in this age, especially during this 21st century, so very difficult for the girls to get married at an earlier stage. Everybody want to settle down in their life. Everybody want to compete with others in the way of education and earning. Everybody want to going for a huge degree, going abroad, try to study and other thing. And after that, immediately after studies, they at the time itself they will be 25-year-old. By the time they will get a job, it will be 27. By the time they want, like others, they want to buy a house, car, all those things, 30, 32, 35. Like that, the woman age of getting married, earlier it was 16, 18, 21, 25. Now it is 35, 30, 35. Especially for the girls who are going abroad, they are not getting married before 30. Very, very difficult. So these are the things. That's why Srila Prabhupada insists on why we will have to get the children, especially girls, married at a proper age. So we will see, based on the above verse, we can see how the topmost Vaishnavas, some of these Vaishnavas treated their wife. And especially I want to take the case of in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 6th canto, Lord Shiva, 6:17-27, Lord Shiva is telling his wife, Sri Rudra Uvacha, Dishvatiyasi Shushrani, Harer Adbuddha Karmanaha, Mahatmyam Vrtabhatyam, Nisprasanam Mahatmanam. Lord Shiva, to his beautiful wife Parvati, is asking whether have you seen the greatness of the Vaishnavas, being servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. Vaishnavas, they are the great souls. They are not interested in any kind of material happiness. And this is happening in the Chitraketu's affair, Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, "My dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily feature. Certainly you are glorious, but I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of a devotee who have become servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Totally, after making her to be so happy, Lord is making her to understand some of the very important things. Of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way. For others, they cannot speak like that. The Supreme Lord Shiva continued, "It is always exalted in his activities." And here is an example of his wonderful influence upon King Chitraketu, his devotee. Just see, although you cursed the king, he was not at all afraid of or sorry. Rather, he offered respect to you. He is telling Parvati, called you as mother and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. He did not say anything in retaliation. This is the excellence of a devotee. By mildly tolerating your curse, he has certainly exalted the glory of your beauty. Even though Parvati is so beautiful, but Chitraketu, she overtaken her by his glory and your power to curse him. I can impartially judge that this devotee Chitraketu has defeated you and your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. As stated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarorahit Sagishnuna, just like a tree, you will have to tolerate. Amanina manajena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So, this particular thing, how the devotees tolerate all kind of curses and reversals of the life. This is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing the devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, has excelled the power of her by his tolerance. Trinadapi sunichena tarorahi sagishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. What a wonderful statement by Mahaprabhu in Shastakam. So Chitraketu followed that, and even though Parvati was a greatest beautiful lady, and but she exalted that power of her by his tolerance. So this is some of few more things we will see. We can go to Ramayana. We can refer to Ramayana. By reunion of Sita and Rama from when they were in exile, we can see about the love and dharma of a person. A profound lesson can be learned in Ramayana that inspires us to revive our eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should do what we should understand. Lord God loves us. It is true. And we can assess it and experience it. If we approach him in the right spirit, then we can do that. Just as we can watch a desired video by clicking the right link, if we click it, you can watch the video. We can experience the Lord's love by approaching him in the right way. In the tradition of bhakti, this right approach is through selfless love. Anyapilat shunyam jnana karma nanavardham anukulena Krishnanuselanam, as he desires, bhakti ruttama. That is the uttama bhakti. Then we can feel the love of the Supreme Lord. By love, our love, we can assess the love of the Supreme Lord. When we love God, we experience his love in exchange. In fact, God loves us even if we don't love him. That you should understand. But if we start loving him, even in the beginning stage of our love, we can appreciate how much he loves us. The more we recognize his love for us, the more we appreciate the love. The more we inspire to love him unconditionally, when our love for him is fully blossomed, we experience the supreme unparalleled bliss of spiritual love in our pristine relationship with the Supreme Lord. That's what you should understand. Several episodes in our scriptures, including Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, shows us how much Lord loves the living being, jivas. and how eager he is to bring his loving company. It was explained by great Vaishnava Acharya how much Lord loves us and how much he is longing to have our association. So, teaching by example, what we should learn from Ramayana. Ravana, the king of demons, had a benediction that he could not be killed by anyone, but a human being. So the Supreme Lord Ramachandra descends on this earth in the form of a human being. However, the purpose of his avatara is not just to kill the demon, but also to teach and train the human being by his personal example. All the associate, it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.19.5, that we will see it later. All the associates of Lord Rama, including wife Sita Devi, his brother Lakshmana, his devotee Hanuman, his friend Sugriva, and others, teach the message of Dharma to the entire humanity. When Ravana kidnapping Mother Sita, disguising as a Brahmana, Lord Rama wept incessantly. He wept. He was a Supreme Lord, the abode of all spiritual bliss. Yet he lamented in separation from this consort Sita Devi. And he had to undergo many difficulties to reclaim her. By this, Lord Rama set a living example for everyone that household life in the material world is filled with many tribulations. And therefore, one should not be unduly attached to materialistic family life. At the same time, in his endeavor to reclaim his chaste wife from the captivity of the cruel Ravana, Rama also gave another message for this entire humanity. He instructed all men who follow Dharma that a faithful husband must love and protect his wife in all circumstances. So this is explained in 5.19.5. We'll come to that later. So that tolerance and how we'll have to live, it is explained. Even we know this song, Kamala Talajala, Jivana Talamala. See, we should, in the lotus flower, lotus leaf, the water is there, but at the same time, the water is not stuck to that surface of the lotus leaf. It is without any connection. In the same way, our jivana, our life should be like that. Kamala Talajala, Jivana Talamala, Bajahu Haripada Nitire. Prabhupada is singing so nicely on this. So, thus Lord Rama's life teaches great lesson to all of us at a multiple levels. Out of his love for people living in this world, he taught us by the example as an ideal husband, ideal son, ideal brother, ideal king, and an ideal human being. By following his teachings and footsteps, we can live sensibly while performing the duties of this world and reach the Lord's eternal abode. A well-known episode of Ramayana, if you remember, that what happened, it will give us an insight of a profound message for our day-to-day life or our living. To fulfill the promise of his father Dasaratha, Lord Rama left his kingdom and went to the forest along with Sita Devi and Lakshmana. During Rama's exile, Ravana sent a demon named Maricha in the form of a golden deer to allure Sita Devi. When the illusory deer appeared before Sita and wandered playfully, captivated by its lovely movements, Sita Devi got enchanted and requested Lord Rama to bring the deer to her as a gift. Lord Rama could not deny Sita's appeal as an ideal husband. He is showing her as an example and went out to capture the illusory deer, keeping Sita in Lakshmana's protection. After chasing it for a while, Rama shot an arrow that hit the deer Maricha, who shouted to help from Lakshmana. Lakshmana, like that she was shouting in Rama's voice. See that how dramas. Hearing that sound, anxious Sita sent Lakshmana to help Rama. Even that time, Lakshmana doesn't like to go because he knows the power of Rama. But Sita insisting, no, you go and help my husband. Ignoring his well-intended advice not to worry about powerful Rama. In the absence of both Rama and Lakshmana, Lakshmana went out. So in the absence of both Rama and Lakshmana, Ravana kidnapped Sita and held her captive in Lanka. Sita Devi suffered immensely in the kingdom of Lanka, and her heart was intensely longing to rejoin Rama. In search of Sita, Lord Rama happened to make friendship with the Vanaras monkeys headed by Sugriva and Hanuman. Rama had sent Hanuman along with so many monkeys to find Sita Devi. Hanuman jumped across the ocean, reached Lanka and found Sita Devi in a garden under a Ashoka tree. Still it is there in Sri Lanka if you can. To win her trust and attract her attention, Hanuman first chanted the holy name of Rama. First thing, he chanted the name of Rama and sang about his wonderful pastimes. Janma karma chame divyam. Like that Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, he started chanting about the wonderful pastimes of Rama and chanting his holy name. This made Sita to turn to Hanuman, who pacified her by giving all information about Rama and how he was earnestly waiting to see her soon. Sita Devi also expressed her heart longing for reunion with Rama. Hanuman carried the message of Sita Devi to Lord Rama, who then come to Lanka with his army of monkeys, killed Ravana, and reclaimed her. Giri Sri Vaishnava saints explain the profound esoteric meaning of the story as follows. How they are doing, what is the profound message? If by this Ramayana, it explained by the Vaishnavas in a practical way. That's what you will see. A profound message is, Mother Sita, who was attracted to the illusory deer in this pastime, represents the living being who has a tendency to get attracted by the illusory object of our material enjoyment. Very clear. How Sita Devi attracted to the deer, in the same way, all we are getting attracted to the illusory objects of this material enjoyment. This attraction keeps one in the material world, which represented Lanka. This material world is referred by the Vaishnavas as Lanka. Just as Sita Devi suffered in Lanka in the company of demons, the living being that get deviated from the spiritual life suffered due to materialistic association. What a wonderful reference by the great Vaishnavas. Just as Lord Rama lamented in separation from Sita, he feels pain when someone gets distracted from the spiritual life due to the material allurement. Supreme Lord always feel all of us, each and every living entity, to come back to him. In the separation, he is also the Lord also lamenting. Lord Rama knows that the living beings are best situated in his devotional service and loving protection. Other than the loving protection and devotional service, nothing will make the human being happy, living entity happy. To all merciful Lord, being the supreme well-wisher to all the living beings. He is always a well-wisher for all the living beings, Supreme Lord. Always he is thinking about the living entities. But we are the people we are forgetting. And that's why we came to this world. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bhuktaram Yagna Tapasam, Sarvalokha Mahesham, Sugurdam Sarva Bhutanam Yatumam Santim Rakshati. So a person is in full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and benefactor, and a well-wisher of all living entities. Sugurdam Sarva Bhutanam, well-wisher of all living entity, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. Sugurdam Sarva Bhutanam tries to bring a deviated person back to the spiritual life. That is the mood of Supreme Lord. Further, when the living entity, living being, also sincerely desire to connect with the Lord and get rid of all material association, the Lord even more enthusiastically tries to help him. Knowing Mother Sita's heart to rejoin him, Rama had sent Hanuman to her first. Similarly, Lord sent his representative, Guru, to our spiritual master. So how Lord sent Hanuman to save Sita when she was in distress, same way Lord sends a representative, Guru, our spiritual master, to re-establish the connection between the living entity and the Lord. In the morning, early morning, we are singing samsara dava. We should know the real meaning of, 1 minute, sorry. That song is a wonderful. Sakshadharitvena samasta sastrai uktaiktada bhavyatyave sadbi kindir prabhoya priyevatasya vande guru sri charanaravindam. The spiritual master is to be honored as much as a Supreme Lord, because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all the revealed scriptures and followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Supreme Lord. Sakshadhari tvena samasta sastrair uktaitada bhavyateva sadbi hindu prabhoya priyeva tasya vande guru sri charanaravindam yasya prasada bhagavat prasado yasya prasada nakati kutobi dayantu tam tasya yasya sri sandhyam vande guru sri charanaravindam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of a spiritual master, one cannot take any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day, I should offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, because the spiritual master to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord, because he is the most confidential servant of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all the revealed scriptures and followed by all the great Vaishnava acharyas, authorities. Therefore, we should offer our respect at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, to the Supreme Spiritual Master. So, here the reference was given like how Hanuman sent to Lanka to save Sita. The same way, Lord is sending our spiritual master to save us from this material entanglement. The Guru eliminates the consciousness of the living being by giving information about the Lord, thereby specifying the suffering of the living entities, just as Hanuman chanted the names and pastimes of Rama in front of Sita. The Guru instructs the living being by giving the holy name of the Lord and describing his qualities and pastimes. There also, Hanuman went and chanted the holy name of the Lord in front of Sita. Same way, Guru coming and giving us the holy name in this to get rid of this material entanglement. Just as Rama personally come to Lanka to rescue Sita, Lord also personally saved the living being who was serious enough to associate with him. So we should understand, Lord directly is coming and trying to save the thing. So many examples are there, how the Lord directly came and saved. In case of Dhruva, in case of Prahlad Maharaj, in case of Gajendra, we can see so many things. This is unparalleled love of Lord for all of us. This is a pristine loving relationship we can establish with the Lord through the path of bhakti, under the guidance of a Guru. So that unmotivated, undevotional, unparalleled love of God, Anya Vilasi Sunyam Jnana Karma Nanavartam Anukulena Krishnanuseelanam Bhakti Ruttama. That Uttam Bhakti, how much it is helping us, Lord will directly come and save us. But we should understand what is the cause of, in spite of all these things, what is the cause of living entities deviation from the spiritual path, and what is the way we can reunion. We can see a little about it. Love of God is not just a sentimental right brain thinking. We say, right brain thinking. Like that, love of God is not a sentimental thing or some imagination. It is a eternal truth. Even if a living entity commits abominable activity and takes birth again in the form like a worm or an insect, the Lord willingly accompany him, staying right within the heart of that living entity as a super soul. This we understand. In the purest state of consciousness, A living entity also loves the Lord selflessly. Reciprocation to the Lord. But in the conditional state, in the material world, the pure love is covered by false ego. What are the things which is covering us? In the conditional stage, the pure love is covered by false ego, ahankara. Ahankara is covering. Ignorance, avidya is covering. Material desire, kama is covering us. And the material activity, karma is covering. The result of material miseries. So we are getting into klesha, klesha agni. So ahankara, ego, false ego, avidya, ignorance, kama, material desire, and karma, the material activities, and the miseries of klesha. That is a material klesha. All this is happening. The three type of kleshas, adi atmika, adi bhautika, adi daivika. All these kleshas going to one by one, it's going to affect us. Although a conditioned soul may not have pure love for Lord, the Lord's love for the living entity remains available always. Even we are not having the pure love, Lord is always loving us. That is advantage. When the living being show even little interest in continuing connection to the Lord, he helps them in all possible ways to reach him. In fact, Lord lovingly sends his representatives to help them, our Guru. So much we got so much, we are very fortunate to have Guru in our life. Several episodes of Srimad Bhagavatam also describe the principles of all these things. See, when a 5-year-old child, Durva, decided to worship Lord Vishnu, even with some material motive, Durva is not just went for a pure spiritual attainment. He went with a material motive. Because he was not respected, he was not allowed to sit on the lap of his father, and his stepmother was controlling him not to sit. He was crying. So his mother, Suniti, immediately advised him, what I can do? It is my situation. So you will have to go to the forest. You will have to go and just to pray to the Supreme Lord. If it possible by him, he can rectify everything. Like that, he is advising as a wonderful mother, Guru. And Durva going to the forest as a 5-year child, Durva decided to worship Lord Vishnu. He went with a material motive. The Lord sent his devotee Narada Muni. See, immediately, same way how Hanuman was sent to Sita to help her, same way Lord sent Narada Muni to help him, to give the practical thing. What are the things he will have to do? Then he was going on chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He was going on chanting and restricting his all his intake of food, all those things. He was taking a lot of austerity. In the end, Lord himself directly coming. This was the thing. Same way, if you see the sinful man, Ajamila was a Brahmana who was spoiled totally by the association with the wrong woman. So, but when in the last minute, he just called Narayana, that also not directly to call Supreme Lord, but he called his son, who was named as Narayana. And the Lord Narayana sent his servant, Vishnu Dudas, to save him from going to hell. So, in all these things, what we can understand, Lord directly is coming and helping us. And when Gajendra, the king of elephant, prayed for 1,000 years in the water, struggling to pull out from the capturing of the crocodile, but not possible. In the last, with the great pain of this material impingement, he took one lotus and showed to the Lord, Lord, please help me. He not called anybody else. He not called any demigods. He not called any support of any other elephants around. But he called only the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord, I am drowning to this water. Please help me. Like that, he prayed immediately to help Gajendra, king of elephant, in his great difficult time. Lord Hari came. Immediately, Not even he waited for anything. He came and immediately killed the crocodile and saved him. So from this, what we can understand, Lord is always available. This is Lord's love. Even if you show a little interest in the path of bhakti, he reaches out as enthusiastically to show her his grace. To aim of a human life is to understand Lord's love for us and endeavoring to establish our pristine relationship with him. So this is what we should understand. And Srila Prabhupada explained further in more things in verse number 5:19:5 that I told you earlier. Martya vatarasti iha martya sikshanam raksho vadaya ivana kevalam vibho kuto anyat anatha sayat ramatasvat atmanaha sita kritani vyashanam ivarchaya. It was ordained that Ravana, the chief of Rakshasas, could not be killed by anyone but the man. And for this reason, Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in the form of a human being. Lord Ramachandra's mission, however, was not only to kill Ravana, but also to teach the mortal being that material happiness centered around sex life or centered around one's wife is the cause of many miseries. He is the self-sufficient Supreme Personality of Godhead, and nothing is lamentable for him. Therefore, why else could be subjected for tribulations by a kidnapping of Mother Sita? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada indicates, when the Lord appears in this universe in the form of a human being, he has two purposes, as stated in Bhagavad Gita: Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkritam. And to establish the religion, dharma samsthavanarthaya sambhavami, to destroy the demons and protect the devotees. To protect the devotees, Lord not only satisfies them by his personal presence, but also teaches them so that they will not fall down from devotional service. By his personal example, Lord Ramachandra taught the devotees that it is better not to enter to married life, which is certainly followed by many tribulations, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are so many school of thoughts. Ya maitunadi gramedi sugam haitu cham vanduyane karorayo dukkha dukkam. So Kripana, who are not advanced in spiritual knowledge and who are therefore just opposite to Brahmanas, generally take to family life, which is a concession for sex. Brahmana normally try to involve in their elevation to the spiritual life. Thus, they enjoy sex, the Kripanas, sex again and again. Although the sex is followed by many tribulations, they will go on enjoy. This is the warning for a devotee. To teach a lesson to devotee and human society in general, Lord Ramachandra, although Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, underwent a series of tribulations because he accepted a wife, Mother Sita. Lord Ramachandra underwent these austerities, of course, only to instruct us. Actually, he never has to lament for anything. Another aspect of Lord's instruction is that one who accepts a wife must be a faithful husband and give her full protection. Human society is divided into two classes of men: those who follow the religious principles and those who are devotees. By his principal example, Lord Ramachandra wanted to instruct both of them. One who is just to follow the religious principle and other one a devotee, both of them, how to fully adopt the discipline of religious system, how to be beloved and dutiful husband. He explains, Ramachandra tried to explain all these things. Otherwise, we had no reason to undergo apparent tribulations. One who strictly follows the religious principle must not neglect to provide all facilities to the complete protection of his wife. There may be some suffering because of this, but one must nevertheless endure it. This is the duty of a faithful husband. By his personal example, Lord Ramachandra demonstrated this duty. Lord Ramachandra could have produced hundreds and thousands of Sitas. It is possible. Lord Ramachandra could have produced hundreds of Sitas from his pleasure energy, because it's his internal energy, like how Radhika is the internal energy of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. But just to show the duty of a faithful husband, he not only rescued Sita from the hands of Ravana, but also killed Ravana and all the members of his family. Another aspect of teaching of Lord Ramachandra is that although Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his devotee may apparently suffer from material tribulation, Sita is a devotee. All great devotees were suffered. They have nothing to do with such tribulation, because they are Mukta Purushas, liberated persons. Under all circumstances, it is therefore said in Chaitanya Bhavada, Yata deke Vaishnavera Yavahara Dukkha Nishchaya Janihataha Paramananda Sukha. The Vaishnava is always firmly situated in transcendental bliss because of engagement in devotion service. Although he may appear to suffer material pain, his position is called transcendental bliss in separation, viraha. The emotion a lover and a beloved feel when separated from another are actually very blissful. In Tamil, there is a saying that is called oodal. There is a separation between husband and wife that's called oodal. It will give an enjoyment later, although apparently painful. Therefore, the separation of Lord Ramachandra from Sita Devi, as well as the consequent tribulation they suffered, is but another display of transcendental bliss. That is the opinion of a great Vaishnava, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. He had given a great explanation about all these things and so many other things. So, in this particular verse, what we had started, it is the Puranjana is trying to capture this girl with his love. And the same way, that girl also was so much attracted towards King Puranjana and tried to make him as her husband. And in that aspect, she was so much fond of him and so much loving him. And Puranjana also equally loved her and tried to take her as her husband, as her wife, as his wife. By the same way, Srila Prabhupada on this purport explaining how this relation between husband and wife should be. And even though this relation is there, even some places Prabhupada explaining about Kripana and Brahmanas. Brahmanas really always try to be in the spiritual side of the thing, and still managing all that they will do it as a sacrifice. This is everything is a sacrifice, and it is between the wife and husband, husband to a wife, everything is called as a sacrifice. In that mood, if we live, both of them, we can live very happily. And Srila Prabhupada insisting on the getting married to the young girls at their correct age. It was very much insisted, and we also should follow that. We should not crazily go after earning income, and that's the world is, it's full of competition. It is not one girl will go and earn big money, she will have a wonderful education, all that will be having. But if you go on compete, there is no end to it, because they are doing, I will do. They are doing. She is living in America. I will also send my daughter to America. I will also earn so much of money. I will also get her married to a great entrepreneur. All that in the last, not going very well, not matching to our spiritual requirements, and end up in some cracks. So all these things we can avoid by way of trying to become a Brahmana. All in this material world, those who we with the intention only, we are forgetting our position, our love of the Supreme Lord. That's why we came here. We want to enjoy on our own. and we are envious about the Supreme Lord. He is enjoying. Why I should not enjoy? Like that, we are envious. So we came to this world. As soon as we come to this world is full of enviousness. Always. So enviousness causes enviousness. So we come to this world. We are always envious. With each and everybody, we are envious. Each and every morning, starting from the sunrise to the sunset, moonrise, all we are envious about something or other. This is what the practical material world is. We should come out of that enviousness. How we can come out of the enviousness? Only one thing in the center, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Guru has given us so much of advices how to follow. Okay. Lord has given us very Janma Karma Chame Divyam Yem Veti Tattva Taikya Devam Punarjanma Etimam Yeti. So Arjuna. He was very clearly says, you will not get again a birth by just remember me. Remember my birth, pastimes, and chant the holy name always. Then you will not get into any problem. Here we had seen so many examples of how the devotees were protected, like Prahlad Maharaj, like the Duru Maharaj, how he was, even though he is going out of, Prahlad Maharaj is different, but Duru Maharaj is want to go out for a material life. He want a kingdom which is bigger than his grandfather, Brahma. So, but Lord, when he is ready to give, that time he changes his mind. No. I don't want all this material. I know it is going to bring me all the tribulations again. Again, I am going to get into the problems. I don't want it. Gajendra, in the last, struggling for 1,000 years, then he realizing and calling the Supreme Lord. All these things, what it is teaches us is only one thing. Central core of this thing is a perfect love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is given, Srila Prabhupada has given us so much of this thing. He has given us what he has not given us. He has given us a place for living. He has given us one umbrella under which every one of us can live. Without enviousness, we can live. Without a center core, with a center point of the Supreme Lord's love, we can live. And Mahaprabhu, each and every Vaishnavas contributed so much for us, and in ISKCON especially. And when Mahaprabhu Trinadapi Suni Chena Tarorahi Sagishna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari, always we can wear this around our neck. Always we can have this. Always we can refer this. Whenever we are trying to get into some problem, we want some respect from somebody. And that is the time we should think, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorahi Sagishna, how to tolerate tolerant than a tree and humbler than a blade of grass. It is not for a word wise, but we should practically, we'll have to inculcate these type of characters in our life, and then not expecting any respect from others and giving all the respect to others, we can live a wonderful life. Like how then the way we do that, this is the way Lord Ramachandra showed a life. How he lived. In spite of he can do everything, but he went on his alone to save Sita, and he sent his representative Hanuman to save Sita. In the same way, Lord is sending spiritual master to us to save us from this. And so we should utilize all this opportunity, and the explanation of all the great Vaishnavas, especially Srila Prabhupada, in his each and every purport, each and every book, Chaitanya Charitamrita to Bhagavatam to Bhagavad Gita, each and every line of him, it is an advice for us to live a wonderful life, remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I try to end my Prabhupada's lecture. I cannot call this as my lecture. It is Srila Prabhupada's instruction to all of us. So I will end it here. Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thanks a lot for the wonderful nectar, and at the end you have summarized again. Prabhuji. Devotees lines are unmuted, so they can unmute and ask any questions or any comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thanks
Hare Krishna.
for the excellent class. Prabhu, what you said, we came to this world because of envy, and we are continuing to be envy from sunrise to sunset is such an eye-opening, Prabhu. But this in the material world, it's mainly competition, no, Prabhu. So this is an excellent advice, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes,
Very much.
remembering all these things.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Very nicely
Sorry.
told how to come out of this enviousness by remembering the Lord and by remembering his pastimes. It's very wonderful. Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Murali, Murari, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Dandavat
for
Pranam,
very
Prabhuji.
nice class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One important point, that struck me very strong was we may not have conditional love, unconditional love to the Lord, but Lord's love towards his children is always unconditional. That is
correct.
Very, very inspiring point. So,
Encouraging.
thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for bringing that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, devotees, any other questions? Thank you, Prabhuji, the way you have narrated the Ramayana story and what lessons we can learn, like what are the characters represent, like as living beings, and it was like really eye-opener, Prabhuji. And the way like how Lord Rama sent Hanuman to save Sita. So similarly, like Lord is sending the gurus to save the conditional jivas like us. Still, like we are not able to follow, but like the way the way Hanuman chanted holy names in front of Sita, then Sita got attracted. So similarly, like Guru is also teaching us the holy names. Still, like we don't know when we get attracted. It was really eye-opener, Prabhuji, like Ramayana story, and the way you narrated within 5 minutes, then you started what lessons we can learn from that story. It was really wonderful, Prabhuji. So we'll end the class, Prabhuji. Here, I think none of devotees have questions. We'll end the class with Vaishnava Pranam, Prabhuji.
Panchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhupyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Ananda Kodi Vaishnavanda ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.